our industry is changing. My industry is changing in terms of travel. We're walking through airports. We're getting out of our house, walking through airports, getting to the hotel. Everything seems a little bit easier now, right? And a lot of it's because of the phone. And so mobile's not going anywhere. I've got an obligatory mobile growth slide there. And you've heard it before. I mean, it's huge. It's blowing up, and it's only growing more and more. In terms of smartphone penetration, the latest numbers is 61% of mobile users have a smartphone. A couple months ago, I was giving a presentation, and I said 1 in 2. I can't even say that anymore, because I have to say more than 1 in 2 users have smartphones now, because it's 60%. From a global standpoint, it's definitely getting there as well. You think about a lot of the third world countries and stuff like that that don't have great cellular infrastructure. Well, those guys are starting to come along as well. Every single one of those people actually have phones as well, and most of them are smartphones. And so I think recently smartphone sales have actually exceeded feature phone sales for the first time ever on a global basis. And as you can see, the global penetration actually come up too pretty soon. And then when you talk about tablets and that sort of explosion, I mean, they're achieving penetrations that took smartphones 8 years to do, right? And so now you got 40% of online users have tablets, right? And so that's going to just continue to sort of hockey stick left and upwards. So I'm sure you guys believe me at this point that mobile is here to stay, and it's going to be pervasive, it's ubiquitous, and it's going to take over our worlds even more than it has already. We just kind of have to be okay with it. And from a traveler's standpoint, just sort of tying it back to what I do, travelers heart mobile. They love their mobile devices. Approximately 70% of leisure travelers and business travelers either research or book on a mobile device. So that's pretty high. 98% of us bring our smartphones or tablets with us when we're on vacation. That seems pretty obvious. What's not obvious is why that's not 100%. I don't know who they spoke to where they were like, no, I got a smartphone, but I leave it at home, you know, and why? Yes, weird. And so not only do we bring it with us, but we also use it a lot. It's not like we leave it in our luggage, right, or in our suitcase and never see it again until the end of the trip. So travelers heart mobile. Sorry. So it's really no wonder that travel leads the category, all categories, in terms of researching and booking on mobile. And so it's a little bit of a surprise, though. I knew it would be high, but it beats like entertainment. It beats retail. I mean, I'm on Gilt all the time and Rue La La all the time, and I'm buying stuff in bed. There's very little sort of incentive in me to get out there and deal with the mall anymore. And so I'm a little bit surprised there. But travel actually beats it. Retail is third. I don't know what entertainment it is, to be honest, because you got music and stuff down the list. But travel is number one and sort of leading the charge there. Travel apps are going faster than others as well. I mean, that makes a lot of sense too, given everything that we've been talking about. You know, if you're in the app stores, just to do a quick sort of survey, when you're in the app stores, you see many more travel apps in there than any of the other categories, except for photography. And I mean, you guys can attest how many photography apps you guys probably have with the Instagrams, the Pinstagrams, and all that stuff, and all the filter ones. So that's leading the charge, but travel's not too far behind. And so from a bookings and just a revenue standpoint for the industry, it's going to exceed $8 billion this year. So a little less than 3 times growth, 300% growth within less than 3 years. Right? That's huge. You know, in terms of hotels.com, we're not only sort of following this growth, right, and sort of along for the ride, but we're actually driving it as well, because we've seen 700 or 800% growth in mobile orders in the last 3 years. So it's big business, and we are invested in mobile because we know that's kind of where the future is. It's the present and the future, really, because more and more of our customers are accessing our content through a mobile device, either tablet or phone. Right now, see our official numbers, like 1 in 5 of our orders or something like that is actually a mobile order. And it's actually more than that, but that's the official line. And our strategy is pretty straightforward. We want to be your travel ally, wherever, whenever you need us. And so we have a mobile web experience that looks great on all devices. We have apps out there that work on all devices. And the apps are different depending on the device. We've tried to really take a consideration into sort of the native features of each app, of each device, and kind of what it does well, and then we incorporate that into the design. right? So it's a unique and sort of enhanced experience, no matter if you're an Android user or a Windows user or iPhone user. So our apps are 35 plus languages globally, 200,000 plus hotels at the touch of your fingertips. Hotels near me, which really answers the call in terms of like last minute bookings, right? So you can find things near your GPS location, and the robust filtering and search capabilities, and fast and easy payment options. I'm going to talk about payment and sort of the whole revolution that we're experiencing right now, because it's a big one. It's definitely affecting our category, but for brick and mortar retailers out there, probably even more so with some of the NFC technology that's on the horizon. But payments is a big one for us. We implemented PayPal not too long ago. Many sites let you sort of store your payment information, right? That's huge, right? Something so basic as that is going to promote your loyalty and retention because it's that much easier to book. So why not go back? Because they already got all my information, one or two clicks, and you're done, right? On a mobile device, it's even more exaggerated. You do those extra steps, and you concise that purchase process, that flow, and you're going to see lift, leaps and bounds. We were voted best travel app not too long ago by About.com readers, and it was a Reader's Choice Award, so voted by all of you guys, and so that means a lot. So this is essentially the traveler journey, right? So we're talking about the inspiration and planning stage. You don't know exactly where you're going. You know you want to go on a vacation. You may have a sort of inkling in terms of time frame, right? And then obviously it's shopping and booking, and then there's the travel day, trains, planes, automobiles, and then you get to your hotel, and then you're on your destination, and then before you know it, you're home, you're exhausted, and you wish you had a vacation after your vacation, right? That's typically how it goes. And so from a planning stage, more people are doing it on mobile. The stats really speak for themselves. 62% of people surveyed say they research travel on mobile. And so the old way to do it's like, hey, travel guides, magazines, friends and family, where did they go, how do they like it? And then that kind of graduated to user-generated content, sort of same concept, right? Sort of tips and from trusted sources, but now it's like the wisdom of crowds. Now with the TripAdvisor and Yelp and the blogs, you know exactly kind of what you're getting yourself into. And then obviously people still use Google and online, but people are doing this on a mobile device now and on a tablet. Facebook and social is blowing up. We're going to talk about that in sort of a dedicated way in a bit. You can't talk about Facebook unless you talk about or you can't talk about social unless you talk about local and unless you talk about mobile, and that's why these ridiculous terms come up like Mobocial and Somolo, and I hate them all. And I shouldn't have put them on here because I just perpetuated like what I hate, but had to talk about it. And then deal-driven demand is something new that we're seeing as well with mobile because, people aren't deciding where they want to go first and then looking for the best price. Increasingly, people are sort of being open-minded and saying, what has the best price? Then maybe I'll go there. So social is the new word of mouth. Like I said, it's kind of like that wisdom of crowds, but it's curated just to your social network. And so more and more people are taking to Facebook, to Twitter, to seek out travel deals, right? 30%. 52% of people say they change travel plans based on the things that they hear on their social network. And then 50% of travel companies like HCOM have taken advantage of this and actually directly drive bookings from our social brand pages. So this year, it wasn't too long ago where sort of our industry, as marketers, didn't know how to treat Facebook, right? It's like hey, they obviously have the traffic, but how can we monetize it? It doesn't seem like these people are in the mood to sort of transact and interact and click off and purchase. I think that's changing. You guys saw Facebook's stock is finally up over IPO, right? And it's because they demonstrated the ability to monetize their audience. And a lot of it was mobile. It was all mobile driven. And so just to tie it back to mobile, social is the new word of mouth. And guess what? Most of us use social on mobile. 78% of Facebook, 65% of Twitter. And if you guys are anything like me, you use social. You access these social sites exclusively on your mobile phone. Right? I've logged into Facebook on PC maybe three times in my life, but every day on my phone several times a day, right? So from a social standpoint, HCOM is all in. We understand that shared images inspire travel, social tools capture intent, and so what we've done one of the cool things we're doing with Twitter is we routinely host these Twitter hacks, and essentially it's got our customers, our followers, anybody else that really wants to join, but then also like travel professionals and travel bloggers as well. And we all sort of get together on Twitter and we talk about travel hacks, like tips. Tips to make the best out of your experience, to get the best deal. And then a lot of it's like mobile travel hacks. You should wait this long. This is that's sort of a thing. And those are a couple of examples of tweets on the travel hacks, and we hashtagged it travel hacks, so you can kind of reference all the tips on the fly. From a viral standpoint, we've really taken advantage of the mobile explosion because we actually we're doing a web viral series that we've done since probably 2011, something like that is when we started. And really, it's a simple concept. I mean, it's everyday situations that we're in where you may need a mobile booking, right? One of the examples was like, you're hurling yourself off of a plane and you're free falling to earth, and you forgot to book a hotel room, right? That happens to all of us, right? And so he actually tries to book, and he's successful. He doesn't die. It's good. And so we did it again with somebody, Andy Bell from Jackass. He signed on to run through the streets of Pamplona with the bulls, and again, he forgot to book his hotel room, so he's going to have to do it while not being impaled. And then we did it again recently, and our Asia Pacific team actually did it this time, so they got sort of the Jackass equivalents. They're called the Tokyo Boys. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. They were on like Leno and stuff like that before, but they did it again, and I just wanted to sort of premiere it here. There you go. Again, mundane situations that we're all in. So next time, just remember to bring your, when you're river rafting without the raft, just bring your cell phone. That's all you need. Don't forget about the raft. You just need your cell phone. That's what we're trying to say. So from a shopping and booking standpoint, so researching, we know from the other slide that most people research and then book on PC or book on tablet. That gap is closing. More people are actually booking as they become more comfortable. But it's still a pretty big amount, so 42% of travelers actually book on mobile. And again, we're seeing that last-minute demand that I was talking about. And so with hotels, well, actually, I'll talk about it in the next slide. And then I want to talk to you guys about the mobile wallet, the digital wallet, using your phone and sort of cloud services. But there is a payment revolution that's on top of us, and I think we should have to understand that, hey, this is the generation. We're seeing this kind of next turning point for payments, and it's going to change things for years to come. So last-minute booking, Extreme Edition. You guys saw our Xtreme Booking series, right? And so that's what we're seeing from a last-minute booking standpoint as well. So over 2 in 3 bookings are actually for the same night on a mobile device, and so over 60%, right? So it's an urgency situation. It's a last-minute situation. For the most part, it's one-night stays on mobile. 81% of those are within 10 miles of the hotel, a lot of which are in the parking lots, some of which are in the lobbies, right? But obviously you're in need, and you're checking to see if you have a great deal, and if you have it, great, and if not, it's okay. You'll probably end up booking anyways if you're in their lobby, but we also see a lot of impulsive demand where, let's say it's a weekend, because Friday and Saturday are the busiest booking days. Well, hey, maybe you and the wife can get a babysitter and do a night in the hotel and go to dinner and have a nice night. Well, if it's a good deal, let's do it. If not, we won't, right? And so it's sort of fickle and impulsive, but that also means it's incremental, right? Otherwise, it's just a shift, right? They would have booked anyways, and now you're just giving them a deal. And so there is some incrementality there as well, we've seen in our numbers. But the Extreme Edition, we've always observed this last-minute booking with hotels. So if you observe like your own behaviors, you book flight first, and then you wait 2 months out or 2 weeks out, and then you book hotel. Now we're seeing those booking windows even more condensed and getting more exaggerated, and it's because of mobile. So from a payment standpoint, there's some competing technologies, and if you go online, you'll see the debates. But it's cloud versus NFC. Cloud is basically PayPal. It's like a universal web-based stored payment. That's exactly what it is. Google Wallet is coming into the picture, and Google has a tendency to, when they get into something, to disrupt and to blow it up and make it mainstream. So it's going to happen. It's going to be huge. And so, really with cloud technologies such as those, it's really convenient to make a purchase online. But it's really clumsy at brick and mortar. There's some stores who have tried to integrate it and make it work. It's not, you should just pull out your credit card and swipe. It's that much quicker, right? If it's a new development or a new technology, it has to be like 10 times better than the other one. It has to be much better, much more convenient, right? And so a cloud payment at the grocery store just doesn't make sense. Now you got NFC, which a lot of people are calling tomorrow's technology. It's just device-to-device connecting. It's kind of like Bluetooth, sort of. But essentially, it's really convenient at brick and mortar as long as the point-of-sale systems are already integrated and there's readers there. But essentially, what you do is you just take your phone out and, hey, I paid for it. Done. And then, with NFC, you could actually store all of your sort of coupons and loyalty things all there. And so, if applicable, once you pay for it, it takes into account all those coupons that you have stored as well. And it instantly sort of processes. Now there's a cost issue with that, again, from like retrofitting all of your existing point-of-sale systems to make this happen. And so right now the demand doesn't really warrant the cost. And so when you think about these two technologies, it's very different, right? And so I don't think one can replace the other. I think they'll converge. I don't think they'll compete. I can see banking institutions actually coming up with their own, getting into the game, right? Visa and all the credit card companies are already getting behind NFC. So basically what your banking institution will do is they'll tie your checking account to their own sort of PayPal, their own cloud service, and then integrate with the credit card companies that are already applicable or workable with NFC. So I do think that there's going to be a convergence. And then up top is there's just a sort of a timeline, last 100,000 years of payment. And you can see credit cards is really when it started turning the corner. I think that's the last sort of more recent huge event for payments. And I do think we're inside the next revolution. And you guys will think back like 10 years from now or 5 years from now that this is the moment when it all started to change. And we're seeing from a shopping and booking standpoint, deals make a big difference. So interestingly, you would think that you're in a bind, you need a last-minute hotel, and so you're going to go for just the cheapest hotel. It's not really the case. What we tend to see with deals and coupons is that users like to trade up. And so they'll stay at a 4-star versus a 3-star because they got a good deal, even though the total price is still more expensive than some of these other selections. And so that's easier on the margins, right? Because typically when you do these offers, you take it out of the margin. Well, if the property mix is higher and it's a higher margin property that they book because they traded it up, then the sort of the net effect of the margin isn't so bad. So from a business standpoint, it actually makes a lot of sense for us to do this. And so we have a lot of products that sort of speak to kind of these behaviors. So we have flash sales, we have tonight's local deals that are specific to mobile, and that, of course, kind of answers that same or next night booking behavior that we see. We have mobile exclusive deals, so we'll work with the hotelers to actually give us a better deal on mobile than our desktop. And we got deal of the days. And then value adds really play a big part as well. So it doesn't have to be 30% off. It could just be free breakfast or free Wi-Fi or something like that. And we see that sometimes that's enough to sort of move the needle and have you book one property versus another. And so now you're at your airport, right? And there's this notion of the invisible traveler, and that's what mobile is facilitating. And so in this example, I'll just do a walk. I haven't left the house yet, but there's a gate change. So now I'm not going to drive to the wrong gate and park, right? So now I get to park, and now I'm actually getting to the right gate on time. I've already checked in at this point using my AA app. I've got my boarding pass already set up. And if you're anything like me and you're afraid that your app won't open or crash and then you're in a bind when you're at the gate, just take a picture of it, right? Or you could add it to Passbook. And then once you arrive at your destination, you're about to get in a taxi cab. You've added your hotel card to Passbook, and so now you have all that information, the name, the ID number, like address, phone number, all that stuff you can give to the cab driver. So it's been very, very easy up to this point. We probably haven't really talked to anybody at this point, other than like the security guys. When you get to the hotel, it's kind of the same concept, right? We're getting to a place where you're going to skip the front desk altogether, go straight from the taxi straight to your room, open the door. That's going to require some of the NFC sort of retrofitting. So if you think about it, all the doors will have to be retrofitted with the NFC reader, right? For now, though, there's an interim sort of Band-Aid process that chains like Marriott's doing. So I'm sure you guys have read this. Marriott's been testing this sort of kiosk approach. So the guest checks in via mobile prior to arrival. They send you a barcode or ID to your phone, and then you go to the kiosk, and then you scan your barcode, and then it spits out a key, and you go straight to your room. Right? That's kind of the Band-Aid approach, right? But eventually you're going to get to the place where you just walk straight to your hotel room. And then once you're there, once you're in your hotel room, it's really bring your own device. Whatever device you have, you download their hotel guest app, and at that point they can give you room notifications or issues. You can access all your concierge information through there as well. In-room controls, you use your phone to actually close the blinds or to make the room cooler or hotter. Pretty much anything you want, even from an entertainment standpoint. Instead of sifting through the TV to see what movies they have, they may give you a good deal to just download the movie straight on your tablet. You can watch it there. And the room service anywhere is kind of nice. Before you were kind of chained to your room, right, when you needed something and you had to wait for them to get there. Well, now they know where you're at because they've GPS located you. So whatever you're asking for, they'll just bring it to you. You could be at the pool, you could be at the gym, whatever, right? That's when they'll bring you what you need, whatever you requested. So that's phenomenal, right? This is coming soon, right? So Marriott's done 30 properties to date with this kind of kiosk model. And they just announced that they're going to retrofit that to all 325 properties worldwide. So it's happening. Now you're on your destination, right? And everything's on demand in real time. So remember the days when you had the maps? Not too long ago, right? I mean, think about it. Maybe like 5 years ago, you bought a map, and like you were walking down the street, and you were like, did I turn in this corner or that corner? And there wasn't no blue dot that was sort of pulsing, telling you if you were walking in the wrong direction either. 68% of people use Google Maps or a mapping service on their phone in order to get directions and to find where they're going. You can do walking directions too, which is great, right? Obviously. Also, there's really no excuse for you to eat the soggy calamari at the tourist trap restaurant anymore, right? Because before you walk in the door, unless and you're ignoring all the red flags, obviously, but before you walk in the door, you just look up a Yelp review. It's terrible, or it's really good, or maybe you should go to this place called Philly Bistro instead because it's a great restaurant. And you should get the burger. So you get in there, and guess what? You check in, right? Because you're starving. I'm starving. Let's check in. 46% of people do that while they're on a trip, right? And then when you're there, it's food porn, right? You got to take a picture of that great burger. But then beyond that, like you're on the trip, and you're taking videos, and you're taking pictures, and you're posting them in real time. So not too long ago, you would go on a trip, and then you would go back, and then you would print out your pictures, and then show your friends and family. You had a great time. It was awesome. They're experiencing this with you in real time because you're posting along the entire trip, right? So there's no need for that. It's phenomenal. So 72% of people are actually doing this, okay? Huge numbers. And so as a marketer, when a user's on destination, that's a great time to reach out. It's kind of that old sort of tired, goal of the right place, right time, right message, right? But with a phone, you're able to just sort of do that with unparalleled precision, right? And so this is an example. There's two examples, right? So this Jason Hart guy is at the Luxor. You know what I mean? He probably tweeted something about being at the Luxor, or maybe he checked in. Luxor reached back out to him right away and said, "Hey man, try the pigs in a blanket at Cat House. They're a fan favorite. I'm also partial to the mac and cheese balls." Right, so they're having that brand, that hotel's having a direct conversation with him while he's on their property. I mean, talking about cross-selling and merchandising and all that stuff, that is powerful, powerful stuff, right? And I don't think Jason Hart minds it. Now, the stalker or friend thing is an interesting thing because Jason would probably be like, "Why are you stalking me?" Now, if Luxor said, "Hey, get 40% off those great pigs in a blanket," he would be like, "Thanks, friend." You know what I mean? That's the distinction. Are you a stalker or a friend? Are you valuable to me? Like you're reaching out to me, but are you saying something valuable, or are you just stalking me and irritating me, and then I'm gonna turn you off. I'm gonna turn off my push notes or something like that. McDonald's did an interesting thing last year. This was in New York, and somebody was walking down Times Square. So yeah, somebody's walking down Times Square. You get within like 10, 15 feet of a McDonald's. It's cold, obviously. It's 9:50 in the morning. And they're saying, hey, it's 36 degrees outside, and you're nearby. Why don't you stop in and get a hot coffee? And so they've geo-targeted that. They've geo and location targeted that person up to 10 or 15 feet away, right? So that's pretty powerful. And again, no offer. So I mean, that's stalker, right? So make it valuable, even if it's 5-10%. So it's something that's valuable, or give away a free biscuit with a coffee or something like that. I don't know, but there needs to be some value for the user. Otherwise, they'll quickly sort of turn against you. And then from a post-destination standpoint, now it's all about feeding this beast that we've been talking about, and sort of starting all over again. So now you're leaving hotel reviews. 46% of people leave hotel reviews. 40% of people leave attraction reviews. That same amount of people leave restaurant reviews, post photos to social networks, right? And so now your friends and family who have been really tracking your vacation and sort of experiencing it with you all along, now they can actually see your hotel reviews and say, hey, maybe I'll do that, because so-and-so really liked it. And so it starts all over again for another person, right? So it's pretty obvious, and I think you don't realize you're doing a lot of these things, but you absolutely are, because I think we're all pretty savvy. But it's definitely changed the way we've traveled, and they've done it in a really short period of time. And so for a marketer like Hotels.com, we understand that, hey, this is providing the growth for us, right? There's a lot of our marketing channels that are still delivering massive scale, right? Like SEM, Google, right? We're never going to stop doing that. But the growth has kind of decelerated, right? Because it's very mature. It's a mature channel. It's a mature industry. And now we see mobile is coming up, and that's nice. So one's coming down, one's coming up, which is always good. Another kind of unique sort of counterplay with that is typically with our business, the bookings and activities are concentrated during the week. And then people book Monday to Friday, and then they're doing things on Saturday and Sunday, and so they don't really get on our site. Well, with mobile, what we see the opposite. We see the trough during the week, spike during the weekend. So I mean that's huge, right? Because you got these complementary plays, where one drops off, the other picks up. So it's huge for us. We're not only following the growth, we want to feed it. We want to feed the beast, and so. We're constantly sort of in the lab trying to iterate and innovate on our app. There's a lot of good things coming on the horizon. We've been really, really good, I think, at the pre-sale side. Like, hey, you need a hotel room, you're in a bind. Let's give it to you. We'll try to get you a good deal as well. But now we're working on the on-trip stuff. So for our business, most of our users actually drive to their destinations. That was surprising to me, right, when I first started, but it completely makes sense because we only do hotels, and so you don't need flights or anything like that, so a lot of people are just like drivers, right, and they need a hotel. In order to sort of speak to that US-centric crowd, we're gonna start incorporating like road trip planning features within our app as well. We want to be pervasive and your ally even after you've booked with us, and so you could sort of plot your destination and your route, right? And then the things along the way, the gas stations, the attractions, and all that stuff. So we're working on that, and it should be good. But yeah, we think mobile's here to stay. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. And it's going to continue to sort of eat into the rest of our business, but we do think that it's incremental in its lift, and it's not just a shift. So that's all I got. Thanks.